Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. I love you all. My name is miahtheking, and after dinner, my wife asked if I could clear the table. I needed a running start, but I made it. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called Space Engineers 2, a space building simulation game developed and published by Keen Software House, released in early access and selling for $30. Now, full disclosure, I have not played Space Engineers 1, so I'm just coming into this blind with zero previous exposure or experience, alright? Alright, so what even is this game anyway? Unfortunately, I have no freaking idea. You're a space engineer, I guess. Now, this game was released in super duper early access state, and the devs clearly stated that on the Steam store page. So what I'm currently looking at is the earliest stages of the game that's playable. Because of this, I can't review it as I typically would, and instead I'm just gonna wing it, I guess. Yeah, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the graphics. I mean, the game looks really good. It has some great attention to detail, shading, color choices, and great contrast. I mean, just look at this game. It looks freaking beautiful. I was definitely not expecting it to look this good. Hell, they even have detail in places that I just wouldn't expect it. For instance, when you're using your jetpack to fly around, you could watch the little model of your little guy's feet sway to and fro from the momentum. So it has great animations and overall a great look to the game, which was surprisingly pleasant and not something I was expecting. Also, I really liked the sound design, though I don't have too much to say here because, you know, space. But from the sound effects I did actually get to listen to, they sounded fairly accurate and decent enough. The music is a good background noise as well, as it's not overwhelming, cringy, or completely absent. Overall, the sound quality for what's currently there was decent enough. Another thing that I really liked is the creativity here. Now, like I said earlier, I didn't play the first game, which got some very positive reviews on Steam and seems quite popular. However, I never experienced it. So, from a first-time player, the creativity and the freedom, as well as the idea and the massive world, it's all just a really interesting concept to me. I love space, I love sci-fi stuff, so I was immediately attracted to this idea and wondering how I missed the first one. Regardless, there's a level of freedom and creativity here that is quite inspired, and I really wish that I could dive deeper into it. Another thing that was very much appreciated was the stability. Despite the game being in super duper early access and just releasing, I didn't run into hardly any bugs. Like, there was no crashing, no freezing, no glitching or bugging out. The only issue I ran into was whenever I crashed my ship into something, the frames would drop for a brief second. Otherwise, the game was running way smoother than it had any right to be running for an early access game this early just released. Like, it was crazy. Screw the graphics and the sound design, that is impressive. I mean, I'm still a little blown away by exactly how smooth, fast, and stable the game was that I'm still having trouble getting over it. Now, before we keep going, I'd like to pause and kindly ask you to join my royal guard by hitting that subscribe button. And before we keep going, I'd like to help you out by reminding you to hit that bell. And here's how I'm helping you out. I review random games at very random times, and you hitting that bell means YouTube will tell you whenever I post something new, and hey, you never know when I'm going to review a game that you've been missing out on, so hit the bell and stay informed, alright? Alright, okay, so let's keep going. So yes, the game is in super duper early access and I totally get that, but I still have a few issues with what's there, or rather what's not there. Keep in mind going forward that they charge you $30 for this experience. I shudder to call it a game right now because it's not a game right now, it's a concept. This is a trial run. Once again, we have a situation where the game devs are making you pay them to beta test their game and help them develop it. In the past, they used to have to pay people to do that for them. They even say so on the Steam store page. They want to work with the community to further improve the game with ideas and whatnot. But that's kind of like trying to buy firewood from this guy and he charges you $10 for you to chop down your own tree and then for you to cut it into logs. Doesn't quite make sense, does it? Like, why am I paying him for me to do it myself? Then you've got the fact that I just paid $30 for nothing. Now, I don't know these devs. You guys might, if you're fans of the genre, you might know them, but I don't. You might know the previous game, but I don't. I don't know when this game will be finished or if it will ever be finished. I don't know if it's going to get worse. I don't know anything about it at all, and yet I just had to pay $30 for it. I'm new to the series, and so there's no love of the franchise blinding me to the fact that I just spent $30 on a concept with no guarantees I'm going to get my money's worth. There is nothing here. There's nothing to do. The building is clunky and severely lacking in diversity and possibilities. There's nowhere to go, and so little to do that I legit struggle to even imagine what fans of this game are doing with their time after purchasing it. So, like, I want to issue a challenge out there to anybody who's a fan of the first game and who like this game and are playing this game and or defending this game. What can you do? Why is it so good? Why is it so much fun? Why is it worth $30 and not, say, $15? You know, let's say $15 for a concept of an idea that's completely bare bones, skeleton, with nothing in it yet. It's just graphics and sound design right now. Why is it worth more than $15? Why didn't they charge me $15 for a concept? I would have been more than okay with $15 for a concept, because then it would have been like, oh, that's not a whole lot of money, and I'm down on the ground floor, so I put a little bit of money to help the developers and everything else, yada, yada, yada. And so I just want to know what I paid $30 for, because as of right now, it's just a concept, not a game. Look, I need to start wrapping this up. For a concept, it's not bad. Like, it's very stable, it looks great, it sounds great, it's got a really cool idea, like, it's got such a promising head start, but the cold hard truth is that the game is just, it's charging me $30 for zero content at this point in time. I don't understand why they didn't just charge $15 when they knew how empty and bare bones it was. I don't know these devs, and I don't know if it's ever going to be finished or when it'll be finished. It'll probably be years before it's finished. All I know is what's in front of me and what they say, but I've also been burned hundreds of times by game developers in the past, so I learned not to trust what they say. And I have to review the game on what's currently there, and unfortunately what's currently there is nothing but $30. Look, I started this channel to help both gamers and to help the gaming community, and I can't approve of tactics like these where you're charging people $30 for a completely empty game. I'm not saying the game is bad, and I'm not saying you shouldn't add it to a wish list. I'm not saying you should avoid it, or that it's going to be the worst thing ever. I'm just saying that as of right now, $30 for an empty, barren game seems like a complete waste to me. I don't care if you're getting it on the ground floor. I don't care if you're a longtime fan of it. It still doesn't make any sense to spend $30 on a game you probably won't play for the next 3 years. I mean, if they had charged $15, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. I could defend that price tag myself, considering what they're doing here. But for $30, I expect far more content. For $30, you could buy their previous game, which is finished, along with some other game on sale for $10, which would be the far better deal. In fact, do that. Don't buy this. Go buy the old one. If you're curious, if you want to know, go buy the first one. It's got amazing reviews. I haven't played it myself, but that's probably where I'm going next. But it's only $20. It's fully finished. Go play that one. But I wouldn't play this one. Despite how well designed the game currently is, the simple fact is that it offers nothing in its gameplay or its purpose or anything, really. Honestly, I have to just say it's just not worth investing in right now. I mean, like I said earlier, it could take them years to finish developing this game, which honestly means you spent $30 on nothing. You'll forget about the game in years from now. You might not be around years from now. That's the scary truth. The game could end up getting scrapped, which means you spent $30 on nothing, and there's not a single game developer out there who deserves your trust like that. So no, as of this moment, despite its super promising start, I still have to tell you that I don't recommend it. It would be a waste of money right now. Like I said, go buy the first one. That's still supporting them, but it lets you get to experience the game and to get into it and yada yada yada. Or maybe if they drop the price, then fine, invest at that point. But otherwise, I would recommend adding it to your wish list and giving it more time to cook. I know you may be super excited to try it out. I get that, believe me, but at this point, you'd simply be wasting your money. I can't in good conscience recommend a game or excuse a game, no matter who might be developing it, no matter what game it might be, for charging me $30 for nothing. So, unfortunately, that's all the time I got, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, with a special thanks to those of you who stuck around to the end. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.